Hello everyone, Larry Satchwell in the kitchen again, not making Dutch babies this time. We're out of suet. So I am going to make a gourmet suet. I'm talking the suet of all suets. In this pan, I've got two small jars of Crazy Richard's peanut butter. It is peanuts, no salt. And I checked the organic peanut butter at Walmart. All of the organic peanut butter had salt in it. Some of it was sea salt, but salt is salt. Birds don't need salt. And this is the second pound of lard I'm putting in here. This isn't the greatest lard. This has some preservatives in it, but it's very difficult, and this is going to be expensive suet as it is. It's very expensive to get really good lard. Really good lard, as I understand it, comes from around the kidneys and the internal organs of cows. And your butcher is probably not going to be able to provide that with you. It was my understanding that suet was from hogs and tallow was from cattle, but I have done a lot of research going into this suet here, and that's what I've learned. So I need to dissolve this peanut butter, and it being natural is in a pretty good state. So this is going to take a few minutes, and I may turn the camera off. I've already given our dog was here, I've already given the dog the peanut butter containers. She loves to lick those and finish those. And I meant to do this before I tore the label off, but here's a quick picture of the ingredients for that Crazy Richard's. I have only found it online and at Ingles grocery stores. You may be able to source it someplace else, but that's where I have found it. So I believe it was I don't know. I think it was a pound, maybe 16 ounces. I'll have to look at the label. This is only going to contain hulled sunflowers. I've got this Deck stuff. This is zero waste from Wildbird. In here is sunflower kernels, peanuts, pistachios, hulled pumpkin seeds, vitamin A supplement, vitamin D3 supplement, vitamin E supplement, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And it does look like there's some preservatives in here, but you're not going to find anything on the U.S. shelves that doesn't have preservatives in it. Seems to be a prerequisite. I'm going to add some freeze-dried mealworms, and I think it was Patricia that recommended ground flax seed and Quinoa. I don't even know how to say that. I got the tricolored. I could get the white, but being an old physical and health education teacher, we always told kids to make your plate colorful, so I got the tricolor. So while this is melting, I'm going to go ask my wife how to say that. All right, she said quinoa. I don't even know how to make this stuff, but it's not important. I hope Patricia's right. No corn. In the video I did last year, seeing what was in commercial suets, 99% of it was just cracked corn. Now that's a really cheap ingredient to add. And there's no cornmeal in this, unless I need to thicken it. But I'm hoping that this other stuff will do it. I'm going to turn the heat off. This is really pretty well mixed. Now I'm going to change the camera angle. I don't want any of this stuff to cook. So here's the thing about suet. Right now, we're in a really extended cold period here in Georgia. And I know my native birds are not used to it. We're in the teens, low teens at night, getting up to somewhat. This is the first day we've been over freezing in, I think, 3 days. I don't want to cook any of this stuff, but the birds right now need fat. They need fat. So you really can't mess up suet as long as you're using good fat. Don't use bacon grease. That has a lot of nitrates in it. And so does this lard has some in it as preservatives. Coat this. If you use the black sunflower seeds that have the hulls on them, it's my understanding that at this time of year, the birds are seeking the fat, and they'll grab that fat on the seeds, and that seed may not even digest inside their body. So that's why I'm using the seeds I'm using. So I'm adding the whole bag here. This is 1 pound. And I'm adding the whole bag of flax seed meal. I want to incorporate this. I really don't know how much suet this will make. We save our suet containers from the commercial suet we buy. And this week we have really gone through a lot of suet. This is definitely not a summer suet. This is going to be really fatty. Now this is a 4-cup container, and as you can see, it's really filled up. It's filled up until there's a half a pound of mealworms in here. And I know making suet isn't for everybody. I've gotten comments before blasting me for putting in the wrong peanut butter, and yes, I did that when I was, let's just say, young and silly, looking at the internet. You can't always believe everything on the internet. I want to put some nuts in here too, and we have this ancient food thing. I'm going to put at least a half a pound of nuts in here. This says it's 3 cups, and it was about 9 ounces. All right. I'm not going to put all of this in here. This is 5 pounds. But I'm not going to put it all in at once. I may not have room to put it all in. What I'll do is put this in my suet containers, let it cool here on the counter, and then I'll put saran wrap over it. I'm actually going to store this in my refrigerator or freezer. That feels like it's about half the package, and that's all I'm going to have room for. So right now, I'm just trying to make sure every little thing here is covered with the fat, either the peanut butter fat, and that peanut butter had a lot of oil in it because it was all natural, and the 2 pounds of lard. And everything is really nicely coated. Not really well mixed yet, but nicely coated. I have a lot of bluebirds, and I think they are going to enjoy this. And I have a little bit of room left. But if that's glistening like that, you know it's coated. Now, if you don't have leftover containers, you can simply put this on a cookie sheet lined with parchment paper. And once it's set up, just cut it into slices. So I have 9 containers out here so far. Now I'm making a mess. All right, this is what I'm going to be doing. I will let you know at the end how many containers I was able to make. One thing I do want to do is fill up some of these jars. I have a video out on how to make these jars into a bird feeder. All you need is a canning ring. Super easy to do. All you really need is a drill and maybe an awl for a punch or something like that. But these jars are one of my most visited by the birds. It's really easy to do. So I'm going to fill these up too and let you know how many of those I have. Now that I have some room in here, I'm going to add the rest of this package. It said I had 1 pound and 4 ounces left over. And if I don't have enough fat in here to cover these, I'll just put a little more on top by melting it in the microwave. It is possible to make this without even heating up the oil. It's kind of like a meatloaf. You just get in there with your hands and scrunch it up. But I find that the seeds get a little bit better covered if the fat mixture is a little bit warm. Doesn't have to be hot, just has to be melted. I'll also try to figure out how much these cost per container. I'm not very good at math, so it may be a little bit hard, but I'll try. After fighting this cling wrap for the first 3, I thought, man, those look like the same size as a sandwich. And so I started putting them in these Ziploc sandwich bags. It is so much easier. Really, so much easier. Well, as serendipity would have it, I ended up with exactly the amount of containers I needed. I have 19 suet cakes and 7 of my half-pint containers. Remember, don't use regular peanut butter. Don't put stuff in there that you wouldn't eat. And as long as everything is coated with a nice layer of fat, you really can't go wrong. But I would stick to the natural ingredients. Thanks for watching. Please share this video. Like it. It really helps my channel grow. Until next time, happy birding. As I was throwing this package away, I stopped and reread the ingredients. In haste at the store, I just read through the first few. I regret putting this ingredient in here. In the future, I will just use the package of whole and pieces of sunflower seeds.